That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about 12-Hour Shift, the directorial debut of Brea Grant, which will be released October 2nd, 2020, courtesy of Magnet Releasing.
This film is about a nurse, Mandy, who's played by
Angela Bettis.
It's 1999. She's in Arkansas working the overnight shift. She's part of like a black market organ smuggling ring. So we find her on a night where she has procured some organs, and the person who picks up these organs, a woman named Regina, this ditzy blonde who drives a pink Corvette, picks up the organs, but through something pretty stupid, leaves the organs behind and delivers like an empty ice cooler to the person who was waiting for them. He's obviously upset and says, if you don't bring me my organs by this evening, like everyone's donezo. So she goes back to the hospital to see Mandy, who's her cousin via marriage, to tell her I need more, kidneys and livers and whatnot. Mandy explains that's not how this works. We have to plan it out. So Regina decides she's going to get the organs on her own. That doesn't go very well because she doesn't even know where a kidney is or how much morphine to give someone.
Yes.
So it's not as calamitous as you would like, but a series of events ends up with like the hospital being sort of locked down. Because in the midst of all that, we have a cop killer played by David Arquette who's been admitted to the hospital, and he's causing a little bit of trouble. Also, one of the henchmen for the man who was waiting for the organs has gone to the hospital to sort of see what's going on, and he ends up causing some damage.
Yes.
In the end, anyone who seems to have been aware of like the illegal activities ends up dead. So David Arquette's character is able to escape, Regina's able to escape, and Mandy is kind of like free to just like go home and come back to work later. And that's the end.
Also note, so it starts off, as the title indicates, she's about to work a double. And the first thing she does is kind of commiserate with Karen, played by Nikea Gamby-Turner, who is very entertaining.
She's like the, how do you call that person?
The shift lead. She's not the head nurse because there's
the black lady?
Yeah.
She's not a nurse. She's like the receptionist for the nurse,
yes.
like a health unit coordinator or something.
Yeah, the head nurse is Janet.
Right.
She's very entertaining. I feel bad for black ladies that are named Karen. But it's clear that the game they play is she kind of picks out who might be a good mark for them, and then Mandy
kills them.
Mandy injects bleach in them, it seems like, and then...
and then there's a person who works the next shift who actually removes the organs.
Right,
so they have a little system going.
So they're disconnected, yeah.
Yeah. It's not as ridiculous as you would want. We have some scenes with Mandy like snorting, I'm assuming something to keep her awake, like Adderall or something. She steals pills. She's kind of rude to patients, but then not rude enough that it's, I thought, humorous.
Right. It's not totally unhinged, and as things become more and more ludicrous, it's basically a comedy of errors stacked on a comedy of errors. You expect the tone of the film to change, and it doesn't. It feels kind of like a black comedy version of something like Halloween 2, but the one with Jamie Lee in the hospital.
But strangely not as dark. Like, it's not dark.
No.
Like, if you read the basic plot, you would think, but it's really...
That said, I'm really a big fan of Angela Bettis, who is, of course, the Lucky McKee muse, who is in his movie May and The Woman, and as Masters of Horror segment, Sick Girl. She's played Carrie White. She's starred in a film by Tobe Hooper. She's just an actress I really like, and I think this is the first time I've watched her thinking she reminded me of Martha Plimpton, with kind of a Holly
She has great screen presence.
Yeah, and maybe a little Holly Hunter drawl, because they're in Arkansas here. But she's giving you a performance, whereas I was also very entertained by Chloe Farnworth, who played Regina. But that's like a totally different tone. That she's this ditzy blonde. She almost brings it into a territory that's like Nurse 3D.
She has a very peculiar way of like moving her body, and she's kind of creeping along, but fumbling and stumbling.
Almost kind of like a deranged version of what's her name from Schitt's Creek, Alexis. The way she would move her body. but also very entertaining. It just doesn't quite work. I didn't like the cinematographer and the composer, Matt Glass. I think the ball was dropped a little bit on that because there are a lot of sequences where a soundtrack would have really helped certain scenes, and at the same time I got kind of tired of how it looked, and I don't know if that's because they tried to make it look like how things were shot, because there was a lot of indie films shot on digital around then.
Well, also hospitals are notorious for having that horrible overhead fluorescent lighting, so I think the lighting was fine. It does look a little cheap. I like the music more than you did.
It's fine when it is used. It's just that I found it strangely absent in some scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again, to see Angela Bettis in a lead role, I was very much excited to see this. David Arquette doesn't have as much to do, but come to find his new wife is one of the producers, as is he. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth a look. It's Brea Grant, who directed, also wrote it. Clearly, heretofore she's been an actress, very talented storyteller per se. It's just that not everything else kind of works together.
Yeah, I would say check it out.
Yeah.
What would you give it?
I would give it 2 out of 5.
I would give it 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, bye.
Bye.